Today we're gonna make whole food plant-based pizza from scratch. I'm talking dough, pepperoni, and mozzarella cheese. Stick around to see how we do it. Greetings and welcome to or welcome back to PB with Jay. I'm Jeremy and here on the channel we focus on plant-based goodness, and today I'm gonna show you how to make whole food plant-based pizza from scratch. It's very exciting. The beauty of this is that you can take any of these elements and just do one of them if you don't have time to do all three or the desire to do all three, or you could do all three if you've got the time. Probably recommend this for like a weekend, as it can be a little bit time consuming if you're doing all three. For our dough, I'm making like a whole wheat sourdough dough. If you don't have like a sourdough starter of your own, that's okay. In the link in the description down below, I have got a recipe that you can just use those like little yeast packets you can get in the grocery store, so you can make a dough that way as well. That is on our website, link down below. So today you're gonna see me making this dough, and then a little bit later on in the day today, I'm going to make my pepperoni, which I'm making from like Seitan. It's like Vital Wheat Gluten. Where is it? Somewhere in the kitchen. I'll show you how I make that, and to do that, I'm going to use a food processor and my Instant Pot. However, I have this recipe on my website as well, in the link down below. There is a method you can do this in the oven, but we're gonna use the Instant Pot today. And at the very end, I'm gonna show you how to make this vegan mozzarella, which we're gonna save until the end because we wanna use it right away. The longer it sits, the thicker it gets, which isn't a bad thing. You can use that for other things, but for pizza, where we just want to put on plops of it, it's best to make it right before. Luckily, it's really quick. Although I also broke my Vitamix this morning because dishes were stacked up in the sink and it fell on the ground and it broke the spout. I realize this isn't the most important part of a blender, but it kind of is a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna try to fix this with super glue later on today, but I probably won't have time before I make the video, so we're gonna do our best. So last night before I went to bed, I fed my sourdough starter. You just wanna do that with equal amounts of weight. So the equal amount of weight in flour and water. I needed 160 grams of starter for this recipe, so I fed it 80 of each. So that way I have the original amount of my old starter left. And I just left that overnight. And as you can see, it's doubled. It's got nice and sourdough-y. I don't know the words and the terms, but it's good to go. And then when I woke up this morning, I mixed together 600 grams of whole wheat flour with 520 grams of water and 13 grams of salt. And I mixed that together to create what is called like saltulise. This is the word here. I'm not a baker. I don't know baking things, but I know it's a thing. And you make it before and you just let it sit and have all those things come together before we add the starter in. All right, for baking nerds out there, I'm gonna put the percentages right here. I'm reading off because I don't have this kind of stuff memorized. So it's 100% of flour, 87% water, 2.2% salt, and 27% sourdough starter. That's the makeup of this dough if you are a baking nerd and you want to get it right. For those asking, do you have to get the grams right down? Yeah, baking for doughs and stuff is pretty precise. You're gonna want to get a little scale. Lucky for me, my scale said the battery was dying on it as I was trying to measure in my starter. Which tells you the kind of day I'm having. A broken Vitamix container, battery dying. So actually all I did to get a little more juice out of that battery is I took it out and rubbed it with my fingers and then put it back in, and it worked. It gave me enough, but I gotta get a new battery for my digital scale. So it's gonna be goopy. It's kind of a wet dough. We're gonna knead and fold this into itself. So we're gonna let that sit for like a half an hour, and then Every half an hour for the next like hour or so, we're just going to do a little coil fold and just let it fold onto itself from underneath. So basically like 4 rounds of this. And what we're looking for is we're looking for the dough to expand in size by about 50 to 75%. It doesn't need to quite double. So while we're waiting for the dough to do all the good stuff and get a little bit bigger, we're gonna get started on our pepperoni. But first, I wanted to say hello to a few people who've said hello to us in the comments down below. Sonia from Vienna, Austria. Liz from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Michelle from Charleston, South Carolina. Deborah from Ontario. Ayana from Oakland, California. Anne from Yorkshire, England. April from Knoxville, Tennessee. Garrett from Southern Illinois. Zelma from Brattleboro, Vermont. Lana from Ludington, Michigan. Leni from Oslo, Norway. Debbie from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And Lisa from Omaha, Nebraska. If you'd like a shout out here on the channel, all you have to do is let us know in the comments down below who you are, where you're watching from, and let us know something you think about either this video or the channel in general. If you want a little bump up on that list, you can always join us over in the Mighty Network for that perk, along with amazing, amazing communities of like-minded people who don't yuck anyone's yum, and we share a lot of thoughts and feelings about being plant-based, and it's a really, it's just a really magical kind of place, and you can join up there for the price of a crappy cup of coffee a month.
You don't have to drink that.
Thank you.
And if you've gotten this far in the video and you haven't hit that like button yet to let YouTube know to share this with other people, please do so. It really does help spread the word in getting videos like this out there. And obviously subscribe if you think you want more videos like this showing up in your little homepage thingy-mabobber. Let's make some pepperoni. What I love about this recipe is that it comes together so fast in a food processor. And if you don't have one, you could do it by hand. The only thing you need to make sure is that you grind down your fennel seeds, because you just need to grind them down. You can also buy ground fennel seeds. So first we're gonna put all the dry ingredients into the food processor and pulse that around until they're nice and combined, but also really just until the fennel seeds are broken down. I know I've said fennel seed a lot. Fennel seeds are kind of like the key ingredient to making this taste like pepperoni, I think. Other things help as well, obviously, but that one I think is key. If you are using a food processor and you have like a little dough blade, maybe consider switching that over when you put your dry ingredients in to make the dough process. But you're gonna wanna use the sharper blade for cutting up the fennel and mixing together the dry stuff. After that, we're gonna put in our wet ingredients and then pulse it around. It just basically turns into a ball. You can do this all by hand if you don't have a food processor. It's just gonna take you a lot longer. With a food processor, it's gonna take like 30 seconds. By hand, it's gonna take 2 or 3 minutes. Once you've got that ball, you're going to cut it in half and then cut that in half again so you have like 4 sections to it, and that's what you're gonna use to make your pepperoni. We're gonna take out 4 pieces of tin foil and we're going to roll these into kind of like, let's call them sausages. I know what you're saying they look like, but this is a family-esque channel. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect, because what's gonna happen is when they steam up in the Instant Pot, they're gonna find the right shape, so don't worry. So we're gonna roll these into our logs, wrap in the aluminum foil, twist it up, and then we're gonna steam those on the steam setting in the Instant Pot for 30 minutes. Don't forget, you put them on that trivet with a cup of water underneath, because that's how things steam. For those that don't have an Instant Pot, do not fret. In the description down below is the link to this recipe, and I have instructions there on how to do this without an Instant Pot. And then when these come out, they're pretty much ready. Give them at least 5 or so minutes still inside the foil to cool and relax down. So you can see how these, look how like uniform they are now. Just pull on that tin foil so it kind of flattens out. It might be hot, so be careful, there's steam in here. If I was smarter, I'd do this with like kitchen gloves on. And look at that. Woo! See the steam? Look at that. We got a nice little pepperoni. So we're gonna roll these out and let them cool. And then later on, we're just gonna slice them up, put them on top of our pizza. You could also use these in like sandwiches. You know, anything you put pepperoni on. Oh my goodness. Woo! The steam. Oh, some of these fennel seeds did not grind up. Oh well. It'd be a real burst of fennel. So our dough is looking pretty good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lightly flour my counter. I'm gonna pour the dough all over onto it and then just kind of put it into a bit of a ball just to give it one little final kneading. And then I'm gonna cut that into 4 different even pieces. You know, we're making 4 here. And then we're gonna shape those into balls and we are going to just cover them with a towel for up to 3 hours until they rise a little bit more before we're gonna use them for baking. If you're not gonna make pizza dough today, you can put them in your fridge and let them rise for a day and they would be fine doing it that way as well. And then we come back later, we're just gonna use some more flour and maybe even some cornmeal just to roll those out into the shape we want. I'm gonna make some tofu crumbles for Wooly.
And me.
And Annie.
Woo!
I just made this really simple just by thinking all it is crumbled up tofu with tamari, little chili powder, cumin, and oregano. If I was making it for myself, I'd probably put some liquid smoke in there. But I wanted to keep it really simple, just to flavor the tofu because they don't really like my pepperoni. You want the pepperoni, Annie?
No.
No, she looks disgusted and Wooly can't eat this. But you're probably wondering,
Why not?
well, because there's vital wheat gluten, but you're probably wondering, well, how come Wooly can eat our whole wheat sourdough pizza tonight?
You can eat gluten tonight!
Because she can have, she's working on, she says sourdough is okay for what she's doing with her FODMAP diet. So we're giving it a shot. This is the first time she's had like pizza with gluten in it for almost 10 years. So we'll see what happens to her tummy. Probably won't record that on the video though. So for that tofu crumble, I'm just air frying it at 375 for like probably 10 to 12 minutes until it's like the texture that you like. Remember, it's gonna go into the oven too, so you don't wanna get it too crumbly crispy. Now we're gonna make the mozzarella cheese. I've been wanting to work on a mozzarella cheese recipe for a while. I have something on the website. I'm in the process of updating it. I want something that is simple. It doesn't require like carrageenan and all these other ingredients that people just don't have on hand, because that's just the way I like to cook and like the way I like to make recipes for people. So I'll put a link down below to this, and it's great. It's just you take some cashews, raw cashews ideally, and you soak them, half a cup, and then you combine them with all these other things that you see on the screen into the blender that I broke this morning. And hopefully it'll still be nice and pourable. And you just blitz it all up. It's gonna be super watery, that's okay. What we're gonna do is when we put it on the stovetop and we crank it up, that tapioca starch is gonna activate and it's gonna thicken it up probably within a few minutes. It's gonna start to get clumpy. The trick is you gotta keep stirring it consistently.
Stretchy.
Stretchy like Willie is.
I'm not stretchy. Wish I was stretchy.
And for the last stage of this pizza dough, we're preheating the oven at 500 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got our pizza stones in there. If you don't have pizza stones, that's okay. You just use a baking sheet. But the pizza stones are really, really important, and you want to get them heated up, or the baking sheet when the oven's heating up. And then what we're gonna do is after we roll out each of these doughs, we're going to work as quickly as we can to dress it and get it into the oven, because I just find they start to contract a little bit, right? The only thing that I didn't make from scratch here is the tomato sauce. I'm just using like the healthiest tomato sauce recipe we have on hand. But if you want me to make a pizza tomato sauce recipe in the future, let me know. And maybe we'll do an update on this video at some point. Now we get to see this all come together. And you're gonna wanna cook that for 8 minutes once you've got all your toppings on, and then you could put it on broil for the last minute just to get everything melty on top, or you could just keep it on cooking for up to 10. Just check out your crust, you'll know when it's ready to go. And thanks to our Click and Grow home garden system, we get to put fresh basil on top of our pizza when it comes out of the oven. If you're interested in one of these systems, we have a link in the description down below. Thank you to Click and Grow for sending us this amazing home garden system. Look at all the herbs too. Fresh plants make me happy, especially ones that I can eat.
It doesn't taste like a cracker.
This is your first non-gluten-free pizza in like a decade.
Mm-hmm. Tastes very whole wheaty.
How's the cheese?
It's good.
Annie, what do you think?
I think the cheese makes everything creamy.
You happy now?
You'll never be able to eat a cracker pizza again.
Never.
I hope you enjoyed this video of us making pizza from scratch, whole food, plant-based style. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like another video like this for a different kind of cuisine in the future. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and join the party. Hit the like button too to let other people know to watch this video, and stick around because YouTube thinks you'd love to watch this video next. There's a lot of noises going on in the background. I apologize. We're a functional family, and sometimes we're not even that.